What's going on, everyone? Good morning. Welcome on into Coffee with Brodes. I see the chat is flying. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Matisse Thibel, Stan, Splits, Dominic. Hello, Mikey. Hello, Michael. Oh, we got a little 500 yen in play. We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here on this Monday morning, Coffee with Brodes. I see the steam just flying out of this mug. But I want to say, cheers, everybody. Enjoy your cup of coffee with my coffee. Cheers, cheers, cheers. We got the Wawa hazelnut in action. Maybe I'll blow on it because it's hot. All right, take your first sip with me on this Monday morning. Ooh, nice, calm, soothing. All right, here we go. Michael with the 500 yen starts us off with the Phillies' devastating loss. Oh, man. Can you send a gallon of ice cream to Devontae Smith? I don't know if that would be a good thing, man. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if our number one wide receiver that you just drafted gets a gallon of ice cream after every single loss. Devastating loss. They have a lot of devastating losses in action, so I don't know if that would be the best thing. My guy will be like 500 pounds by the time training camp starts. I don't think that would be good at all. That would not be fun. Thank you so much, Michael, for the 500 yen, though. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was very devastating, for sure. $3 coming in from Jide. Minor league pitching prospects, free agency. What about it? What about it? Minor league pitching prospects. There's nothing there. Spencer Howard. Spencer Howard. That's your best option that you have that's sitting in AAA. And in free agency, what are we looking for right now? Are we looking for pitching? I mean, Aaron Nola had a bad game, but Aaron Nola is normally very solid and very successful for you. So are you saying that this team needs minor league pitchers to come up and start playing? I don't know if that would be the answer. If you're trying to get better pitching, I don't think it's from calling up anybody in your prospects for bullpen help. There's no answers there, man. Look, Archie Bradley is a great player who is unavailable for you. Not a great player, but he's a good player who's unavailable for you. Jose Alvarado, Sam Coonrod, like you have three bullpen pieces that are like you lost a 12-inning game. It was brutal, but this is the team. Like this is the team. This is what you have. And I think the bullpen is way better than last year. It's hard not to be. Hell, me, you, and anybody else in this chat is probably better in the bullpen. But yeah, I mean, this bullpen's better than what it was last year. You just had to dive real deep into your bullpen, sadly. Come on, Dominic. That's a dumb statement. Medina, I think Medina stinks. I think Medina is not very good. Mick Abel is what I'm excited for next pitching prospect-wise, although I'm trying to limit my expectations and taper them a bit because everybody who's been caught up to this point has just been terrible, and I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. $2 coming in here from Jogo. Jogo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if not. If the Sixers win, do they clinch the number one seed? I honestly don't know. I honestly do not know how many games, like the magic number, this and that, only because they have it. Like they have it. They've had it in my eyes for quite some time. I've never really questioned if they were going to get it after the last two games. Like to me, they have it. I honestly don't know the magic. They have it. They have it. There's no going back and forth. Do they have? They have it. They have the number one seed. That's how I see it. That's reality of the situation. So in terms of the actual magic number, yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so we got two people commenting in here right now. A couple people actually. The magic number is 2. So it looks like thank you so much for the $2 donations. No pun intended here, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I actually talked about this yesterday on the Fanatic. I hosted from 4 to 8 yesterday on Mother's Day, so I had a really good time. I was hosting, and my producer was Dan Fritz. We had a really fun 4 hours, and one of the things that I brought up, and we got some people all fired up about it is the fact of this 11-man rotation and how are you going to do it? And I have an 8-man rotation that I'd be willing to go to 9 situationally, but it would be your starting 5, George Hill, Dwight Howard, Matisse Thybulle, and then my 9th occasionally would be a Shake Milton, maybe. So like that's my 9, and it really is 8. I'm looking at 8. So that's how I would see it, to be honest with you. I don't know if Doc Rivers is saying that 11-man rotation thing just to keep his team engaged, just to keep guys really focused, thinking, hey, I have a shot to play in the playoffs, even though he knows that they don't have a big shot of playing in the playoffs. And they're just saying that to somewhat, kind of keep them in that mindset of, I got to play hard. I got to work my ass off. I got to find my time. Because if Doc pretty much ruled it out and said, you guys aren't playing, unfortunately, this is how it would be. Maybe. I mean, they're still professional athletes, so you'd imagine that they could understand how to play no matter what, even if they are going to have 0 minutes in the playoffs. But they're checked out. Who cares? We don't need to play hard. We're not playing anyway. Things of that nature. So I am fascinated. My fear, and this is a good fear to have, and this is your biggest fear, because every team has their biggest fear. My biggest fear for this team is how Doc Rivers is going to use the bench. That's my biggest fear. So we'll see. No. Furkan Korkmaz does not rock my rotation, but I know Doc will have him in there. So there's a big difference. Does he earn my rotation minutes? Nope. No, he does not. Does he earn Doc Rivers's? Probably. I mean, I'm trying to find that balance of, is he throwing a smokescreen or is he actually feeling that strong about the 11-man rotation? I keep bouncing back and forth. I do think he tries to give Furkan an opportunity based off of the way that he's played during this backstretch. I do think he tries to find ways to implement Shake Milton more than I would. I do think he tries to find ways to do things like maybe even get Tyrese Maxey some minutes in the first round if they play the Charlotte Hornets and it's a 20-point lead. And I'm okay with that. Here's the thing. This team is going to be going up against squads that they're going to kick their ass in multiple rounds. You're going to be able to get that with whoever they play in the first round. You're going to be able to probably get that too in the New York Knicks in the second round. The Knicks play hard. There's no doubt about it. But the Sixers can easily win a playoff game by over 15 points against the New York Knicks. They're lacking the special talent that the 76ers have. This is step one for the Knicks in a long process of getting back to playoff basketball, where they're going to look at the Sixers and say, oh, damn. Now, they're going to work hard and they're going to make you earn it. But there's possibly games where maybe Tyrese Maxey can slip in some playing time because you're up 15 points. And I don't want it to be because of a full bench lineup. I don't want it to be Dwight Howard, no. I don't want it to be Dwight Howard, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, Mike Scott, and Furkan Korkmaz. If you ever do get Tyrese Maxey anytime because you're up big, I want it to be Tobias Harris out there, Seth Curry out there. Like maybe 3 starters and Tyrese Maxey. Something like that. Or 2 bench guys, Tyrese Maxey as a bench guy, 2 of the 5 out there being bench players with starters in the first round against the Charlotte Hornets when you're up 18 points in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go, just to get him some playing time. Like, I'm not against that because I think this team can handle that. But I'm fascinated by it. No, George Hill's coming off the bench. There's a reason why this team has had the starting 5 being the starting 5, at least to start. If things change because of making adjustments in a series, that's a different story. We'd have to see how that series plays out. But in general, in theory here, talking about starting George Hill, I don't think that's the case, man. This team has, 47 wins to this point without changing that starting lineup when everybody's healthy. I don't think that it's going to be anything other than what you've seen with your starting rotation. This coffee's amazing. Very much needed to on this Monday morning. Very much needed. Good morning, Michael. Thank you so much for hopping in here. Yeah, Michael says, good morning, Brodes. Saw you on the Farsi show. That is correct. Last Well, this morning, I guess it came out. I was on the Farzy show with Mark Farzetta. He does a show Monday through Friday. So we talked a little bit about the Phils. We talked a little bit about the Sixers and a little bit of the Flyers. So, yeah, I was on the Farzy show this morning. So if you did not check that out, when Coffee with Brodes is over, make sure you head on over to the Farzy show on YouTube. It's also on Mark Farzetta's Twitter account as well. But yeah, it was a phenomenal time. I had a blast. So make sure you check that out after Coffee with Brodes is over. Why didn't we talk about the Birds? Well, I think, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of followed his lead, and we just kind of threw topics out there and took it for a ride. So, yeah, I think this Pivetta thing is still overblown. I really do. I mean, look at his walks. If the thing is, his ceiling here was not fifth, fourth starter. What he is there is not what he was here. Like he has the stuff. He could be the guy. He could be a top end of the rotation piece. If Nick Pivetta is solidified as a back end of the rotation guy in Boston who gives you 5 innings, and I also wonder, and yeah, that's right. I don't like Nick Pivetta, so I'm fully aware of how I feel about him and how that might be biased to maybe some of the things he's done. Orioles, Tigers, Orioles, the Rays that are about a 500 baseball team right now. I'm wondering how much of this is the product of some of the teams he's facing up against. When he played the White Sox, who's a very solid team, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 walks. So he couldn't even get out of the fourth inning when he played a very strong team in the Chicago White Sox. He's got 22 walks on the season. Look, a back end of the rotation piece, fine. I think this Nick Pivetta stuff is getting overblown. That's my personal opinion, and I'm going to stay on that. I'll die on that hill. The Nick Pivetta obsession is getting, I just think it's a little strong. Is he doing better there than he did here? Sure. Some athletes grow from that. Some athletes need that kick in the ass and that realization of it. But, you can have him. I don't even want him here. I'll go find another guy that can give me 5 innings. And it seems to be tough, but go ahead. I'll find other guys, really. I will find someone else to give me 5 innings, then roll with Nick Pivetta. I'm looking at Vinny V to this point. Vinny V is giving you a 4.18. What is Nick Pivetta giving you? A 3. I think he's giving you like a 3.19. And the way Vinny V has been pitching over the last 2 days or 2 starts is basically Nick Pivetta. So we'll see. We'll see if he stays that way. Both of them. I mean, both of them. All right, we got $20 coming in from Keith. I got good news for you, Keith. I got great news for you. After 2 crappy losses, all I can say is Brodes Tattoo Fund. Have a great week, my guy. You too, Keith. I got great news. June 17th, we are scheduled to get this bad boy colored up. So June 17th, I will be headed to the Brodes Tattoo Fund. I'll be diving deep into that jar, and we'll go get this bad boy finished up. So that is what's happening on June 17th at noon. I'm pretty damn excited. And it's crazy. I'm at the point now where I make that appointment, everything figured out. And I was like, I got to tell Keith. I thought of you. I have to tell Keith. Keith is the one that started the Brodes Tattoo Fund. So, I mean, as soon as I get this thing scheduled up, it's a shame because I got this done probably months and months and months and months ago, as you could probably all see at the time. And I was scheduled for 2 weeks after that date to finish it up instantly. And unfortunately, they ended up having a COVID problem where they had to, and this was more when COVID was like, in the heat of things, in the thick of things. I was like, damn, all right, I'll just wait. And then I never got a chance to really schedule something again until now. So that is right, June 17th. Unless something happens where I was like, I texted her back, look, we're very close to this point. She's done a lot of artwork for me. So I'm like, dude, you're making me wait? Come on. I got to be back tomorrow. I was hoping you'd say, come on in tomorrow. Just joking around. So I did tell her, and I made sure that she knew if there's an opening during the week, a cancellation, you give me a call. I'm hopping in there before June 17th. Would you cut the lettuce? Would I cut the lettuce? No, I'm not cutting the lettuce. There might be a point where I go for a little trim, but the lettuce is, I mean, I'm all for the lettuce. You got to keep going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Brodes, what are your Eastern playoff predictions? And also, we need to thank the Bucks for the 1 seed. Well, I think you got to thank the Sixers for the 1 seed. Screw that. No, I disagree with that. While the Bucks definitely helped out by beating the Nets, and we thought that could have happened when we looked at the schedule, when we knew that there was going to be a battle in the upcoming weeks for Brooklyn, and we just wanted to see who they were going to face. Yeah, screw that. The Sixers have been taking care of business. The Sixers have been handling their job. The Nets didn't handle theirs. That's on them. They had the chance to. They didn't. The Sixers handled their job, and they did. So I look at it as kudos to the Sixers, not so much thank you, Milwaukee Bucks, even though, sure, there is a little bit of that in play. What are my Eastern playoff predictions? What does that mean, essentially? Like, what are the standings going to be? Or who's going to actually come out on top? It's going to come down to the top 3 teams that we have been talking about for the last 7 months. They're all in the same tier. They're all in the same category. They all have strong players. They're all trying to make a big leap. The Nets are trying to support their ideas of making the splashy moves and going out and getting Kevin Durant and getting James Harden and trading all those picks and whatnot. I don't know. All I know is all 3 teams can battle it out and have a chance to win the Eastern Conference Finals. All 3 of those teams are in the same exact situation. Who is going to be the team to come out on top? I don't know. All teams have flaws. All teams have a lot of pros. The Brooklyn Nets have 3-headed monster that are scary as hell, and Kevin Durant is unbelievable and one of the best scorers we've ever seen, tied with James Harden, who might be one of the best shooters we've ever seen. So it's pretty damn. Oh, by the way, Kyrie Irving's pretty good too, even though he's a weird human being. The guy can deliver and make big shots. So that's their pros. The depth of the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis and Drew Holiday's addition next to Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez and their matchup specifically against the Philadelphia Sixers scare me. I think there's something to be said about that big man and how they're going to stretch out the court. That scares me. So there's a pro for you. They've never taken that jump, though. They're still in that when is that going to happen stage. There's that flaw with the Nets, the flaw, the defense, the lack of depth. How are you going to handle Joel Embiid? That's a problem as well. So I think every team has the positives. Every team has some negatives. And all 3 are in the same category. That's for damn sure. Yeah, that play last night was wicked, man. That was insane. Behind the back, it was nonchalant the way that he caught the ball behind his head to turn 2 in the double play. It was just straight up nonchalant. And Nola pitched a beautiful game, man. Slider, fastball. Just working with 2 pitches essentially all night. And he had you guessing and he had you fooled. Absolutely not. No. I think last year the Miami Heat did what the Miami Heat did because of the product of the environment. The bubble, no fans, COVID-19 was in the full effect of things. Nobody knew what was going on. And they went out there and they battled hard, and kudos to them. They took advantage of that, but no. The Knicks are a nice story. The Knicks are not an NBA Finals team. You don't win a championship or get to a championship with Julius Randle and then some of these other guys out there. It's just not time for the Knicks. The Knicks are in a good spot to take a big leap in terms of where they've been. They've been a mess. They've been a disgrace. They've been an embarrassing franchise. They've been paper bag type of team where players or fans go there and they wear paper bags on their heads. That's where the New York Knicks have been. They're a one playoff series win type of team right now. And that's a fine place to be. They're not an NBA Finals team. They're not even close to that right now. Not even close. Not even close. You want Miami so bad? I kind of think I want the Celtics. Just to say, fuck you. Here's payback for what you did last year to us. The Celtics stink. They're 35-33. I had a caller yesterday on The Fanatic tell me this. He was a Boston fan visiting family for Mother's Day. So he was in the area and he heard me on. So he had to call in because I was talking about how there's fans nervous about the Celtics. What is there to be nervous about? Who's going to guard Joel Embiid? They don't have a soul. They don't have a chance of guarding Joel. You're going to get annihilated, waxed, abused, destroyed. You have no chance of beating the Sixers if you're the Boston Celtics. You stink. You're 35-33. You stink. The audacity for this individual to call in, I believe his name is Noah. I remembered because it was so outrageous. He said Jason Tatum, like the reason why he thinks that the Celtics could beat the Sixers is because against Jason Tatum's a way better closer than Joel. And Joel Embiid can't close games out very well. If it's 2 minutes to go in a fourth quarter and it's a close game, Joel Embiid can't close out games. And I'm like, dude, are you a jerk off? Are you an asshole? In what universe would Joel Embiid not be able to close out games? And I did count it. I'm like, maybe you feel that way because when Joel gets doubled, like they double him so aggressively in the post and they double him so much because he's so damn elite that you need to pass the ball out to somebody else. Tobias Harris has been that nice counterpiece to him. And Tobias has closed out games. So maybe because Tobias Harris has helped out close out games, you naturally feel that Joel can't always do it. But it's like, it doesn't matter to me who does it. I don't care if it's Joel. I don't care if it's Danny Green. I don't care if it's Tobias Harris. Hell, I don't care if it's fucking Furkan Korkmaz. Whoever hits the shots at the end, win the basketball game. The fact that the Sixers have other options is what makes the team so good. What he was saying was, I'd rather see, he goes, well, you're saying that they can't defend Joel. Well, they can't defend Kevin Durant or Giannis either. So, and that was his counterpoint. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Noah. That's why I said the Celtics fucking suck. That's why I said there's no way the Celtics could win. That's why I said that. You're right. You don't have an option. You don't have and I'm not saying that many teams do have options to stop these players, but you are at least built to somewhat limit them, and you're somewhat having them. You have the best options to slow down a Kevin Durant compared to anybody else. You have the best option to slow down Giannis, which we've seen Ben Simmons do one-on-one, which is just asinine. So come on, Noah. Come on, Noah. Let's be a little smarter here, Noah. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, what, with Jimmy Butler? Okay, I never really heard too much of this. I never heard this. Never even thought about this, but I guess it's there. You know, Jimmy was talking all that shit, but I guess all that shit was tied to Brett Brown more so than anything else. I don't think he was really taking shots at Joel. Maybe Ben Simmons was involved. Maybe the thought of keeping Tobias Harris with that money was involved, but yeah, I mean, he is what he is. He's talking to the media over there in Miami about some things with Bam and needing more and this and that. That's just who Jimmy Butler is. But that's a good point. You know, the Jimmy Butler crowd and Jimmy Butler in general has been somewhat quiet. But I think a lot of the Jimmy Butler stuff was tied more towards the coach than anything else. Yeah, I agree. It was probably Brett in the front office and maybe Elton Brand and everyone who was talking to him about, can you keep him under control? Remember when he reacted? Not, I was going to say weird, but it's not a weird reaction. It's probably a standard reaction when someone pretty much said, like, can you control him? And that was the question asked in the Sixers front office, like, control me? I'm a grown man. And that's where I think he lost it. So it was a combination of the coach and a combination of the front office and the sloppiness involved, which probably pissed him off more than anything else. Frozo says, would I rather have Herrera or Roman Quinn? It's not even a question. It's Odubel Herrera. You know what's crazy? Odubel Herrera has given you the best production you've gotten out in center field to this point. He's hitting 175. He's been your best option by far. By far. he's been your best option. He's hitting 175. Now, Roman Quinn did get on that little bit of a streak of 2 triples and a single, and he moved all the way up to a whopping 136. It's crazy. It's really embarrassing to think about. He was hitting 080, 063. Then he went triple, triple. I guess he was hitting 083. Triple, triple, single. Yeah, that's what it was. 183, triple, triple, single. Moved up to 136. It's not even close to me. It's not even close. I think what you've seen from your players, from your lineup, has been the strongest. I know yesterday sucked offensively, but I think your player-wise of McCutchen, Segura, Bryce, JT, Bohm, Didi, Reese, Odubel, in terms of what you have on your roster this season, that's your best. That's your best unit of guys. You can move them around. I don't like Reese batting 7th. I like Segura moving up because my man is on fire and he just continues to get hits and it's ridiculous. So I'm cool with that. I don't think Reese should be batting 7th, though. I think that's a little too low. All right, so this is the hot topic once again. We do this after every game. When he has a complete game the other day, Nola is an ace. When he has a bad game, Aaron Nola is not an ace. When he has a great game, look, I told you, Aaron Nola is an ace. When he has a bad game, Aaron Nola isn't it. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that Aaron Nola is this much of a trigger point for people. It's not to the level of Ben Simmons. It's not to the level of Carson Wentz. It's not to the level of, Brett Brown when he was here in terms of trigger words. But Aaron Nola is getting to that point. Aaron Nola is a phenomenal pitcher. I'm extremely devastated with what he gave us. And he gives us some of these nights too often for my liking. But Aaron Nola is a phenomenal pitcher. He needed to stop the bleeding last night, and he gave you one of his worst efforts you've seen. The pressure got to him, which is very unfortunate, and it sucks that I don't look at Aaron Nola any. I guess here's my point. My man has been here for how long? We should know what Aaron Nola is. The expectations of anything other than what Aaron Nola has given us for the X amount of years is crazy to me. Aaron Nola is a phenomenal pitcher. Aaron Nola can dominate through lineups, and he can dominate a Braves lineup. He just did it on this night, and he struggles to pitch in that ballpark, which blows and is terrible for a guy who's going to be in that ballpark a lot. Aaron Nola is a phenomenal pitcher. He is. You could be extremely, extremely, extremely upset with his performance yesterday and still recognize that every time he's on the mound, you're in a position to win the baseball game. And yeah, I think that it's like you can't apply the two. It's crazy. It should be able to be applied to both. Aaron Nola is very, very successful in this league, and he's got awesome ability. Aaron Nola gives you hiccups along the way, which takes him away from that top tier, which is okay because the top tier is rare, and he's still in a very solid tier of pitchers that scare you when you're in the batter's box. So his location was off. His command was off. The fastball to Freddie Freeman down low. It wasn't down low. He missed his spot, and it came in the middle of the plate. Freddie Freeman took it for a ride. And when you hang that pitch to Dansby Swanson in the middle of the plate, and he goes and swings and crushes it and makes it 4-1 in the first inning, those type of pitches can't happen. It doesn't mean Aaron Nola is not a good pitcher, though, throughout. Aaron Nola is a good pitcher. You can find the balance of two. But I guess when the expectations are so high, you know, that's where you live and die with. But Aaron Nola, and this is where it's different than Ben Simmons, because the expectations are high for Ben Simmons. I hold him to that standard because I know that leap is in him to take that next step and to do what he's not doing. With Aaron Nola, I don't necessarily think it's in him. I think this is Aaron Nola, and that's fine. That's fine. I want, if I looked at Aaron Nola and I knew this is what you were getting, I would want him on my team. If Aaron Nola was a free agent, let's put it in perspective this way. If Aaron Nola is a free agent and you're looking to acquire Aaron Nola in the offseason, and you could add that to your starting rotation, is anyone going, you know what, I don't want Aaron Nola because sometimes he has bad games? Is anybody saying that, looking at what he could bring to the table? Absolutely. And you'd be an idiot if so, because all these other guys that you scream about in the offseason that the Phillies should go out and sign, They have the same problems. They have the same hiccups along the way. But when you go look at the stats afterwards and go look at the box scores, it doesn't read that either. So you don't watch them every single night to have that same opinion that you would with Aaron Nola, which is just the irony of it all. So, the Aaron Nola thing's fascinating, but I do think it's crazy. Elijah says, Brodes, who do you pitch in a winner go home game in the wild card? Well, after yesterday's performance, it's easy to say Zach Wheeler. But what if Aaron Nola gives you 3 straight beauties after this outing, which I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I'd have to see how the pitchers are pitching heading into that series, heading into that one game. I don't have the answer for you. If Aaron Nola is the beautiful Aaron Nola, then I'd go with Nola. I think Nola's the first option. I think it's Nola's job to lose. There's a reason why Aaron Nola gets the ball every single opening day. So it would matter based off of how these pitchers are pitching heading into that one game, winner go home game. So that's how it would be for me. If it was a winner go home wild card game, you ask me who would be on the mound, I'd have to see who was being hot. And that's fine. But I do think it's Aaron Nola's job to lose. If Aaron Nola was on a 5-game stretch of really fantastic pitching, it's going to be Aaron Nola. So, yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, Wheeler is very strong. They're both very good pitchers. They're both in that tier of very good pitchers. Very good pitchers. Yeah, I'll probably be going to a Phillies game, Philly for life. I just have not been able to go yet to this point. And the problem is because if they play the same day as the Sixers, I got to make sure I'm here watching both games in the man cave to get both, so I can do both post-game reactions. So, and now you got the NBA playoffs starting and all, so that's going to limit me a little bit more as well. But, yeah, I'd definitely be going to a game. I wish they played a game like tonight. There's nothing on except for a Flyers game, and I'm so damn out on the Flyers that I don't even know what to do. Like, to me, the way I look at it is there's no game. That's how much I'm out on the Flyers. They play their last game. I don't give a damn about them. It's funny, when I was on the Farsi show before we started, we were just kind of shooting the shit before, and we were talking. He was like, yeah, well, the Flyers play their last game. I'm like, dude, I've been so out on the Flyers, and yeah, I watch Cam York and whatnot, so I say I'm out, but my out is different than most people's out. I'm like, I thought yesterday there was when we were looking at Monday, I was like, I didn't even think that there was going to be I didn't even know that there was a game. To me, there's nothing on Monday night because in terms of reacting to anything, there's nothing on Monday night. So we'll have some fun conversation at some point. I'd imagine I'll do some sort of random podcast throughout the day to set up something, or maybe I don't. I don't know. We'll see how today plays out. But it's weird not having a game. I know the Phillies need it badly, so I'm not going to beg for another Phillies game, but it would be nice to have a nice Phillies game. No, Frozo, not at all. Does anybody think that? DeGrom is better. If you ask me, Nola and Wheeler is better than DeGrom himself, the answer is no. So if you're going to throw Stroman in there too, I'm not some huge Stroman guy, although every time he plays the Phillies, it seems there are 6,583 different ground balls that are in play where you're just grounding out nonstop. But if you ask the question, do you think that Nola and Wheeler is better than Jacob DeGrom? The answer is no. So now you're going to throw Stroman in the mix, and now it's like, well, no. No. Bro, you should watch it. I should watch what? Oh, the Flyers? I mean, it's going to be on the TV. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to enjoy watching Cam York play, Wade Allison. I've seen it. I've been there with it just like kind of there, but not there. I'll probably have it on. Well, let's see here's the thing too. I'm obsessed. The other day, I think I had 5 TVs going. I had what I had was, I was in baseball heaven, dude. I had 3 TVs in the man cave, all MLB TV. Like the MLB TV package where I can watch out of market games, iPad MLB TV game, and then my laptop MLB TV game. I had 5 going, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm all baseballed up, man. And I know that'll change once the NBA regular season is finally over. I'll be all basketball playoffed up. But let's see what's on the list for baseball games tonight. Because while I'll have the Flyers on one of the TVs on mute, on the third TV maybe, or on the fourth TV, I'm gonna be. Let's see. Red Sox play the Orioles. I'll probably throw that game on. Padres play the Rockies. I'll have that game on. Angels playing the Astros. I'll have that game on. Those are the ball games that tickle my fancy for tonight. Red Sox, Orioles, Astros, Angels, Padres, Rockies. Those three games, 1,000% will be on my television. Now, let's see what you have for. Let's see what or not. I typed in NBA standings. How about NBA schedule? And I'll go to the ESPN scoreboard so I can see what channels they're on if they were to be on a channel. Yeah, another no-hitter. Another no-hitter, which is just crazy to see all of these no-hitters nonstop. All right, what is on? You got Wizards Hawks on NBA TV. That doesn't do anything for me. Bucks Spurs doesn't do anything for me. Jazz Warriors on NBA TV. Now that one, the 10 o'clock start NBA TV, that has a chance. That has a chance in the NBA world. How about the NHL? What do we got? I'm just trying to look through. Right now, I'm just kind of scrolling through all these games or all these leagues because you really don't have anything but Flyers hockey on tonight. I don't know if that really gets anybody going. So I'm trying to see what would I watch. What am I going to watch tonight? Lightning Panther. Ooh. There's some heated action going on between the Lightning and the Panthers. Isn't that crazy to say? The Panthers are 36-14-5. There's a chance that Lightning Panthers game finds my TV for sure. Oilers Canadians, that's a fun one. Islanders Bruins. Oh, but here's the thing. Now that I'm thinking about it. It just popped into my head. These teams have clinched. And now that these teams have clinched, and it's their last game of the season, maybe there is some action that's going to bleed into the heatedness. Maybe there is something that will kind of bleed into like, hey, fuck you. Or it's, hey, it's the last game of the season. Let's not go too crazy. We're already clinched. We'll see in the playoffs when it matters. I don't know how it's going. Maybe a combination of both. There'll be some cross checks. There'll be some face washes with the smelly glove. And there'll also be some of the realization of let's just calm down because we'll see each other in the playoffs and we'll kill each other then kind of thing. I did see that Rick Tockett's not going to be back. John Tortorella is not going to be back either with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Brodes, you need to keep doing Sixers takes. I'm so used to hearing what you have to say on my way to work every morning from Australia. I'm with you, Wally. I know I didn't do the reaction to that game again. Who was that last game? With the Detroit Pistons. I'm sorry. Who was it? No Ben Simmons and no Seth Curry. Was it those two who did not end up playing that game? I apologize. It's like, to me, it's just so hard to be into that game. And that was also the same night of the crazy, crazy Phillies game. So it was like, really, I'm going to talk about an insane blowout where Ben and Seth didn't play, and it was just bad, It's just not there at all. That juice for this team right now is like, get us to the playoffs. I feel bad, though. I'm not going to lie, because there's been, of this last 5-game stretch, I think, or 5 or 6 game stretch, maybe I missed 2. I missed 2 of these dumpster fire games, or maybe it was even 3. Because I know it was that Milwaukee Bucks game where Joel and Ben didn't play. They lost by like 50. What am I going to say about that? There's probably been 3 or so games that I've kind of haven't did the post-game pod for, but there's just not a lot of meat to the bones, There's really, truly just not a lot of meat to the bones. I feel bad because that's what I do. I react post-game, but with some of these, I mean, there is a reality of the situation. There's just not a lot to talk about when the opposing team has nobody. You're playing a brutal Detroit Pistons team. You don't have anybody. Yeah, you could talk about what Tyrese Maxey did for his 22 points. You could talk about Dwight Howard off the bench, 19 and 14. But we kind of we're just ready, man. We're just ready for the playoffs. We're just ready. But maybe I will talk. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for today's pod because there's no games on tonight. Maybe I'll resurface the Sixers conversation. Cole said, dude, that's a joke. What's a joke exactly? What did I miss? All I see is, dude, that's a joke. They're going to get swept again? What are we talking? Are you talking about the Penguins? What are we talking about? Dude, that's a joke. They're going to get swept again. I really want to know because there's a Penguins thing. Yeah, I don't know about a Flyers wrap-up pod, only because it's like, I was thinking that they crossed my mind. But, nah, I don't know. Is there really much juice surrounding talking about the Flyers, though? Maybe. I got a couple options in my head. We'll see where it takes me. I guess I just don't have an answer right now at 9:45 in the morning. We'll see where the coffee takes us. We'll see where the day takes us before that happens. Okay, so apparently he's referencing the Penguins. I think the Penguins have a chance. Oh, I think the Penguins have a chance. For sure, you got Sidney Crosby. What's going on here? I got a notification for something. Yeah, I think that I absolutely think Sidney Crosby and the Penguins have another opportunity. You can never rule these guys out. This is why they're so special. It just comes down to if Jari can play hot in the net, you know? But yeah, I think I absolutely. That would be insane. I don't know if that would be the case, but that would be absolutely insane if you were able to get the Edmonton Oilers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, Crosby versus McDavid for the Stanley Cup Finals. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Any team that has Sidney Crosby has a chance. You are not wrong there. It's a strong statement. Penguins are not going to lose. Crosby's getting another championship. Where did I miss this? You know, we were talking Sixers, talking Philly, and then all of a sudden, here's 5,000 Penguins are going to go win a Stanley Cup conversation into the chat. I'm not saying I'm upset about it. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, what world did it happen? McDavid is better than Austin Matthews? Well, I mean, McDavid, they're two different players. McDavid is a better point. I mean, what McDavid does statistically is insane. But that's like saying Crosby or Ovechkin, because Ovechkin's the goal scorer, Sidney Crosby's the playmaker. You're literally witnessing a younger version of that where he can still score goals. Nobody's saying he can't score goals. Yes, he can. Crosby is more of the all-around player, just like McDavid is more of the all-around player. And Alexander Ovechkin and Austin Matthews are the goal scorers. Both are very insanely important. Both are very, very solid. So, yeah, maybe McDavid is better than Austin Matthews. That doesn't knock Austin Matthews at all, because Austin Matthews is the next best goal scorer we've ever seen outside of the best goal scorer we've ever seen in Alexander Ovechkin. So, yeah, I mean, both of them are, and Austin Matthews is becoming just an all-around superstar. Austin Matthews does more than just scoring goals. I think he's worked better in the D zone. I think he's a stronger 200-foot player than he's ever been before. He's not a perfect product. He's not fully there. But Austin Matthews is an amazing talent, and you're seeing his growth all around throughout the ice, not just the ability to score the puck the way that he does right now. So, yeah, you might be right with that assessment, but we're talking about McDavid, who's doing like God. He's doing God-like things. So, yes, doing godlike things is better than being one of the best young goal scorers we've seen. The Pens have made a few changes since last year. You guys are going to be suffocated like everyone is by the New York Islanders trap. I don't know why you're saying you, unless you're saying you guys in terms of whoever's talking about it in the chat. Yeah, but they made the change front office wise, and their team clicked. The Islanders are a good team, don't get me wrong, but to say the Penguins can't hang with them is not fair. The Islanders could win a series against the Penguins. The Penguins could struggle against the Islanders. They added Palmieri. They added Zajac. They have Barry Trotz. They have that system. Now, they don't have Anders Lee, which is a huge loss. The captain, you don't have him. But, yeah, there's something to be said about Barry Trotz. I can't automatically write off the Penguins and say they can't beat the trap, though. Sure they can. They could beat that neutral zone. Yes, they can. I'm not saying it's impossible for them not to. It's also very possible for them not to. But sure they can. What do I think about the Knicks this season going to the playoffs? I think they're a team that can win one round. And that's fine. That's a big jump compared to where they were. I see them as a one-round winning team. And then they fall because they don't have enough talent. They'll work hard. Tom Thibodeau will make them work hard. But there's no way that they're going to win a championship. That's what I think about them. I think they can win one round. And that's a great step for them. Huge step for them. But that's about it. I drop it there. I'm seeing if I missed anything on the Twitter sphere as we were talking. I haven't looked over for the last 50 minutes. Sometimes there's something that happens on a Monday morning and things happen and whatnot. Here's a quote from Landon Dickerson. If you want to get something that makes you want to run through a wall. If I treated people the same way on the field and off the field, I'd honestly be in jail somewhere. Eagles rookie Landon Dickerson is a badass on the field and a future HGTV host off of it. There's a pretty good story, I guess, on NJ.com that I want to go dive into and read maybe a little later on about Landon Dickerson. The title of it is Black Belts, Eagle Scouts, and Do It Yourself. Eagles Landon Dickerson's journey to the NFL. Mike K wrote this on NJ.com. Just seconds after receiving the life-changing news that he would be the Eagles' second-round pick, Dickerson decided to stick it to his new boss with his friends and family, eagerly awaiting the results of the call. Hey, coach, you're still a little upset that I beat you in rock, paper, scissors, huh? I saw that clip. I did see that clip. I guess there's a lot to the mentality of this kid, and that's great. You know, I mean, that's the difference. That's why we speak of him. That's why no one questions him. That's why nobody questions what type of player he's going to be. We know that he has it in him. We know that he can be that special talent. It's just health. It's not just health did it a disservice. That's a big part of this. But we don't question, can he play? We don't question what type of talent he is. We don't question if he's going to be able to hang at the NFL level or if he's going to get beat or toasted or not. We know he's not going to. So it just comes down to, the ACL is hanging up. We're hanging in there and whatnot. But I do think it's interesting to hear him say those type of words. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, here you go. Who has a prediction here? Tom has a prediction. Let's read this prediction. Brodes, Devontae Smith is going to go off this year. 90 That's no. Tom. Thank you so much for coming in here, for chatting, for having a good time while we drink our coffee. Tom, do you do drugs? Because that's insane. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. 90 receptions, 1,550 yards, 14 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen. Justin Jefferson last year had 88 receptions, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. You have him doubling Justin Jefferson's touchdowns. You have him having more receiving yards and 2 more receptions. There's no way. There's no way. I've actually had this question a couple times thrown at me, and I think it's interesting. Can we save J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Probably not. To convince yourself that maybe there's a chance, I think it's just like false optimism. Probably not, to be honest. I don't know, though. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a coach that sees something different than what Doug Peterson saw. We were all harping and raving about the ability in the red zone, and then you really never even saw him because he couldn't get on the field. Maybe there's something to the red zone that they see him in certain packages there. I honestly don't know. My answer would be there's really no salvaging this. He stinks. He's not good. He can't get separation. He's a bad football player. And that's really where I draw the line with him. Can Nick Sirianni do something differently? I don't know. I think we're probably basing this off of more of like hope that you can change him more so than anything else. All right, everyone's saying Sean, that's a good comment. So what are we talking about? What if you're right? Well, then, that's great. But let me know the last rookie wide receiver the Eagles drafted that got you that type of production. The closest you've gotten was Deshaun Jackson his rookie year. I'm just basing this off of the Eagles' history at the wide receiver position. His first year, he got 912 yards. 17, or no, excuse me. I thought that was, it's because it's a different website, so the way it's displayed. Rookie year for Deshaun Jackson, 912 yards, 60 receptions. Your last 1,000-yard receiver, I believe that what I heard last was Jeremy Maclin. What year was that? So if you go back to Jeremy Maclin for the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2014. And keep in mind, he wasn't a rookie at that point. Originally, I brought up rookie, but your non-rookie to do it was Jeremy Maclin back 8 years ago. At that point, it would be 8 years, 7 years ago. So I'm just basing it off of the track record of where they, kind of fall. So what did Sean say? I'm looking for Sean. Sean, clown statement. Facts, Sean. Where are we with Sean? I might have found it. Mets are overhyped. Mets are playing better baseball right now, though. Kind of hard to argue that when they're playing some good baseball right now. They just swept the Arizona Diamondbacks in New York to win their 4th straight game because I think they. Oh no, yeah. They beat the Cardinals 4-1 on Thursday. Friday started their 3-game set against Arizona. Win, win, win. Now, DeGrom and that injury, I guess he's getting an MRI today. That could be very damaging, although it seems like every time he's on the mound, they can't get him run support anyway. I don't know if the Mets are overhyped. I think they're pretty much. Oh, it's their 5th straight? You're right. It is their 5th straight. They won 2 against the Cardinals. Yeah, you're right. It is their 5th straight. They're playing better baseball right now. And the Braves are starting to play better baseball right now. And, now the Phillies are going to be probably looking up at the 2 teams that we thought it was going to be before the season began. So it's a little bit upsetting to see that. But I think the Mets are in where they were supposed to be. I mean, I did think that 90 wins, when you look at their win total to start the year, was a little aggressive. I see them more maybe in that higher 80s than in the 90 range. But in terms of like overhyped, you haven't seen them click yet. You've seen them struggle early. You've seen everyone struggled. The Dodgers have struggled. The Yankees struggled. Now they're getting out of it. All these teams that sucked, other the Dodgers aren't getting out of it. They started out hot and then they kind of went into a hole. Now they're trying to dig themselves out of that funk in a series against the Angels, which was just a very bizarre series. If you're saying the Mets are overhyped, you're judging them off of a small sample size where a lot of teams were not playing up to their full capability. Francisco Lindor hitting what he was hitting, that's not what that Mets team is. And when Francisco Lindor turns the page, you're going to see a different Mets team. Well, guess what? He started to turn the page, and then you see a different Mets team. I mean, it's not that hard to see. So, I'm not writing out my full assessment on where the Mets are and who they are already. I think they're a better version of, the Mets that we saw and how poorly they were playing, how bad they were playing before this 5-game stretch. So we'll see. Andrew, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. I don't know about the Red Sox. I wonder if they're going to dwindle at any point. I don't think they're this good. I don't think they're 22-13 good. I think that's a little aggressive. I think at some point you'll find the mean. You'll find a little bit of a middle ground for the Red Sox. I don't think that they're fully this solid. There's got to be more to this. I think that they're just on a nice start to the season. They're 12-4 away from their home ballpark in Fenway, which is pretty damn ridiculous. They're 10-9 at home. It's kind of funny to see those splits, how different it is. And if you look at the Orioles, who are 15-19, they're 4-13 at Camden Yards. They're 11-6 on the road, which is it's hard for me to comprehend knowing how poorly the Phillies play when they're not at Citizens Bank Park. Yeah, I don't think that the Red Sox are this good at 22-13. The Oakland A's are 21-15. And if you think of Cole Irvin and what he's been able to do, it's pretty outrageous, no? Here's a team that's underachieving, the Minnesota Twins. They're 12-20. Woof. 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 Crazy. Just crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's just because of how tight it is with the Nationals. Well, they did have those two heartbreakers against the Yankees in walk-off fashion, but that's how close this division is. 16 and 13 leads it with the New York Mets. The Phillies are 18 and 17. The Braves are 17 and 17. Damn, the Phillies are 13 and 6 at home. I knew that they were good at home, obviously, considering how disastrous they are in the road. 5 and 11, that is. But to just see that, to see the 13 and 6 pop compared to the Braves that are 9 and 8 at home, the Nationals 8 and 8, the Marlins 8 and 9, the Mets are 9 and 4 in Citi Field. But it's just interesting to kind of look at it all. Cubs are 17 and 17, Cardinals 21 and 14. I don't think your Gabe Kapler Giants are going to be standing up at the top of the NL West for much longer, honestly. 20 and 14. This is what Gabe Kapler teams do. They start out hot and then they fade. So I think they'll fade eventually. There's no way that the Giants are going to keep it up. The Dodgers, though, they're 2 and 8 in their last 10. Who would ever imagine? Not me. Not me. All right, everyone. I want to thank you so much for hanging out today on Coffee with Brodes. I had a blast. I had a phenomenal job. It's 10 a.m., so unfortunately that means it's over. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Brodes81 and follow me on my Brodes Media account at Brodes Media. If you have not listened already, make sure you go on over to the Farzy Show and check out my conversation with Mark Farzetta this morning. We had a blast. It's on YouTube and his Twitter pages as well. The Farzy Show, that is. And what else? Well, considering the only game on today is the Flyers, I don't know what we're going to do tonight. I have a couple of different ideas for some podcasts to get a podcast out today at some point, probably closer later in the afternoon, more so than anything this morning or whatnot. So, but normally I do a post-game reaction every day. Well, the Flyers play tonight. That's the only game on, and I don't do post-game reactions for them anymore. So I just wonder, I don't know, different options. I got the Sixers in my mind. I got maybe a Flyers, the season's over type of concept in my mind. I got a couple different things in my mind. So I don't know where I'm going to take it. I have no clue. We'll see. We'll just see where my brain goes. Thank you all so much. Catch you guys later.